Welcome back, fam. We just hit 20,000 subscribers. That is so insane. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. It just amazes me that many people like watching my videos. So you guys have been asking for a very particular video for a really long time, so I thought I would finally share it with you guys. If you've seen my video, I think it's called My Story Pregnant at 16, I talked about Landon's parents when we told them, and I mentioned that they are not too fond of me, or at least at the time they weren't too fond of me when they found out, just because of things that had happened before. And I said I might talk about it in a later video, but that's a whole other story. And here we are. Today I'm telling you guys the story. Before I start, I just want to say that I am a completely different person now. I don't even know who that person was. When I became pregnant, my whole entire world changed. My perspective on life, just absolutely everything about me changed. And even the people around me, my friends and family, are like, you're really different now. Like, even before they knew that I was pregnant, when I knew and no one else knew, they were like, what's up with you? You're acting really different. Anyways, I'm such a different person now, and people make mistakes. I was dumb. I was a teenager. I'm still a teenager, but I've learned a lot through what happened. So this is probably the worst thing I have ever done in my entire life. The biggest mistake I've ever made, and I'm about to tell you guys that story. Me and Landon had been dating for 2 years, almost 2 years at that point, last summer, and our relationship just wasn't in its best place. I was going out partying with my friends and ignoring his texts. I was being a very bad girlfriend, and I was probably at like my worst point in my life. I was just partying all the time. I was doing drugs almost every single day. I was going to school high, and that definitely had a major effect on my relationship with Landon. We honestly were like really close to breaking up. And he's honestly the sweetest person for sticking with me through that time. So towards the beginning of June, Landon went on vacation to South Carolina, and his house was empty. And I asked him if I can stay at his house. I asked him if I could smoke outside because I had no place to smoke. So I was like, can I go to your house and smoke? I won't smoke in the house, I swear. So he was like, sure. Do not touch the alcohol. Do not let anyone else in the house. Do not smoke in the house. Then he left, and I went in the house. And so like the first day, it's just me there, hanging out. And then that night, I invited like 2 friends over. And I was like, you guys can't go in the house. We're just gonna hang out in the backyard. I always like amount to peer pressure, and they were like, come on, let's just go. And I was like, okay, we can go in the house, I guess, just don't touch anything. As the week went on, more and more people started like showing up at this house. Some people I didn't even know, like friends of friends, and they were like inside the house, smoking out of windows, drinking some of the alcohol and replacing it with water. And I was like trying to control the situation, but no one really listened to me. And I'm like a 5-foot little girl, and no one cared to listen to me. There was like, oh, there's an open house. And honestly, I didn't want them to like hate me, so I just kind of was like, fine, whatever. And then things kind of just got progressively worse and worse as the week went on. There was like a ton of people coming in and out of the house. There was a drug dealer staying there, having people come to the house to buy drugs. And I had a summer job, so I wasn't really at the house 24/7. So there was people at the house when I wasn't. People started smoking inside of the house, going in Landon's room, messing with all his stuff. And I knew it was getting out of hand, but at the time, I just really didn't care. I really didn't care about anything. So I just kind of let the situation get out of hand. I kind of gave up on trying to kick people out. And eventually word got around to Landon. People were posting on their Snapchat stories, and he ended up seeing them, and he was like, Cameron, why are all these people in my house? I was like, it's fine. It's under control. I promise you everything's fine. I'll get it cleaned up and everything. And he was like really upset with me, obviously, but he still loved me, and he was like, it's okay, like, I forgive you, just make sure it doesn't get too out of hand. So I think it was like 2 days before he was coming back from vacation, and my friends convinced me to have a party there. And I just want you guys to remember, when I was making all of these decisions, I was like high, I was not in the right mindset, and I just didn't really care about anything. So people started showing up, and like I wasn't really in charge of the door or anything. I wasn't like hosting the party. It was more my friend that was hosting it, and I was just kind of hanging out there, and I was the one who was like offering the house. I was just hanging out in Landon's room with some of my friends. So after like an hour of just not really like going out into the party, I decided to like check out what's going on. And there's like so many people there. There's just like people sitting on the floor, smoking inside the house, drinking all of his parents' alcohol, climbing onto his roof, blowing up fireworks in the backyard, smashing glasses on the floor. Landon has some like martial arts swords, and people were like sword fighting in the middle of the living room. I go upstairs and there's this big red stain that was like some kind of soda spilled all over the carpet. And that's kind of the point where I knew that I was not going to get away with this. So I was like, since I know I'm going to be grounded eventually from this, I'm just going to party as hard as I can and enjoy the party. And I just completely don't even remember the rest of the night. So the next morning, everyone's like, it's fine, we'll clean it up, don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay, you guys get started cleaning, and I'm going to go to work. So I go to work, and I get a Snapchat from Landon saying that his parents called the cops. They found out there was people there. Apparently the neighbors told Landon's parents that there was kids going in and out of there all week. So they called the cops, and my friends were still in the house at that point when the cops were coming. So everyone went into the attic and hid in the attic while police dogs searched everywhere. I'm not going to go into details, but like it was really, really, really bad. Like the house was completely trashed. So Lane's parents are asking him, like, do you know who did this? Did you let anyone in the house? Was it Cameron? And he was like, no, I have no idea. People must have just knew that I went on vacation and went to my house. And they didn't really believe that, and they thought it was me, and he would just not tell them it was me. He was trying to protect me. He didn't want me to get in any trouble. So at that point, I still hadn't even gotten caught. Landon was back in town, and I was still just partying all the time, coming home late every day. Meanwhile, Landon was getting in a lot of trouble. They said, like, you're grounded until you tell us who did this. So I go to another party about a week later. Landon goes to my house and tells my parents everything, tells them about the party, tells them everything I've been doing. They go to the party that I'm at right now, and they go and try and find me, and they pull me out of that party and take me home. And of course I'm grounded. So my mom calls Landon's parents and tells them that I did it, and that they're going to send me over to apologize tomorrow, and that they'll pay whatever they need to fix all the damages. And Landon's parents were like, don't even send her over to apologize. It's not a real apology. We don't accept her apology. I never want to see her face again. She better stay away from our side of the neighborhood, because we like lived in the same neighborhood, which I mean I completely understand. So my mom told me that I have to pay the $2,000 that I owe them, which is again completely understandable. So I was either gonna have to sell my car or work my butt off to pay them back. And I didn't end up selling my car, and about a month later I had enough money to pay them back for all the damages and replacing the carpet and installing a new security system, changing all the locks, that kind of stuff. And so me and Landon were still together at that point. Once I got sober, I kind of started to like change as a person, and he found it in his heart to forgive me. But his parents did not know that we were still together. They thought we broke up after that incident, and they had no idea. I was grounded for quite a long time, but my parents knew that Landon was good for me. It was good for me to be around him, and it like helped me to not do all that stuff anymore. So they let me see Landon. About a month later, I got pregnant, and we were like, well, I guess we have to tell your parents we're dating. And I guess that's where my story left off in my other video. I am so, so, so grateful that Landon and his parents are so forgiving. I'm so happy that they found it in their hearts to forgive me and give me a second chance, and now everyone gets along, everything's fine. Honestly, Landon shouldn't have taken me back. I'm surprised he did. I've been sober for a really long time, and I'm just glad that part of my life is over, and I just kind of got it all out of my system. And I'm just the happiest that I've ever been, being with my family, being with Collette. I really do think that she saved my life. I don't even know if I would still even be here without her. I probably would have gone back to the drugs eventually. Who knows where I'd be. She's definitely saved my life and changed me for the better in so many ways. And again, I'm just such a different person now. I still look back and I'm like, I can't even believe that I did that. But it's crazy how much your mind changes when you're on those kind of substances. Anyways, don't do drugs, stay in school, and wear a condom. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed.